talk about goals with me. When we're talking about goals, what I mean is when you're thinking about starting a personal chef business, or maybe you're working on starting it, or hell, maybe you've even had a personal chef business for years now. Making these decisions is important, and I'll tell you why. But first, the decisions that you need to make are specifically, how much money do you want to make? How much do you want to work? And number three, when do you want to work? Now, this is important and it might sound really basic, but I have calls with people pretty often who they're either trying to decide if they want to start a personal chef business, or they're trying to start it and they're having problems, and they haven't even made these most basic decisions about what they want from their business. So it's no wonder, right? I mean, it sounds kind of good. You're like, yeah, I love to cook. Yeah, I want to get paid to cook. Yeah, let's do that. But it's really hard to actually have a successful business if that's as far as you've gone with your thought process, right? So that's what we're going to talk about, is these decisions, which, even though I say they're three different ones, they're so intertwined that we're just going to run through different scenarios. And this will really help you decide what you want from yours. So, like I mentioned, I have calls with people where they haven't even made or even thought about this kind of stuff yet. So if you haven't had a call with me and that's something you want to do, I'm more than happy to have a consult for 45 minutes. I'll talk to you about, what do you want from a personal chef business? Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? And I'll find out everything from you of what you're doing. And then I will do my best to give you advice and a plan from everything I know from having a personal chef business for over 15 years and working with hundreds of other people to help them start their personal chef business. So shoot me on a DM if you're on a platform where you can do that, or drop something in the comments and I can reach out to you. So having these clearly in your mind will help you structure your business. And this is important because if you don't know how much you want to work, when you want to work, and how much money you want to make, then you end up confused or too overwhelmed by everything you think you need to do to get your business going, or it's going in a million different directions and none of them are getting you what you really want. And the biggest one of all there is you're not making the money, right? So again, these three things are actually really intertwined. So let's run through a few scenarios. So let's say you are wanting to leave a full-time job, right? And you want to start a personal chef business. Therefore, you want to have your business make a full-time income for you, right? This really affects the services you choose, your pricing, how much you're going to work, and they all go together. So let's say you want to make $8,000 a month, right? And you only want to do meal prep services. If you're charging $350 a day, which is kind of smack dab in the middle, that's $350 a cook day to do personal chef services, aka meal prep. That is full services for a client. That is not just selling one-off plates of meatloaf like I talk about. That is a whole different bag of cats. To do personal chef service meal prep, $350 a day, you need to work 23 days a month. Now, in theory, that's not horrible. That's doable. If you look at, let's go to the calendar, shall we? If we look at March and we look at like the Monday through Friday, regular old work week, 5, 10, 15, 20. There are actually 21 Monday through Friday cook days. So you look at that and you realize, okay, that means I'm probably not going to be able to make it doing a simple 5-day week if I'm only doing meal prep services. I'm either going to need to add in a couple Sundays or do 2 clients in one day. Now, just to be clear, when I say doing 2 clients in one day, that is a very advanced strategy. I do not recommend that if you are just starting with your personal chef business, if you are not extremely comfortable running your meal prep cook day, if you're not super organized and really fast. You need to really have all that dialed in to be able to run 2 different cook days for 2 different clients in the same day. But if you are all that and you have all that, it is totally doable. I have in the past absolutely done 2 cook days in one day. It is a lot of work, it is a really full day, but then it's done all in one day, which is really nice. So that's something to consider. If you need to make $8,000 gross a month, that's before your business expenses, that's before taxes, everything else, you need to know your personal net that you need to take home for your cost of living. But that's how you can kind of figure that out. You're either going to need to adjust your prices up, or you're going to have to adjust your work days up, or instead of just doing meal prep, maybe you do meal prep Mondays through Thursdays, and then you know you have to take a couple catering jobs where you're making over $1,000 profit on each per month. So that's how you can kind of look at that and see if you have a money goal that you have to make because you are trying to replace a full-time income, or you just have a number that you know you need to make a month for it to be a good side hustle, or what, just the amount of money you want. That's how you can back into it with your services, your pricing, and your workload. So let's come at it from the other direction. What if you're not trying to replace a full-time income, right? What if this is a jobby, a hobby job, a passion project? You don't have to bring in $8,000 a month. Your main concern is when you are able to work. For instance, if you already have a full-time job and you want to do something you love on the side, then you know you only have these days to work. That tells you immediately catering most of the time is Saturday nights, holidays, depending on what kind of catering you do. The majority of catering is dinners for private parties. There are business lunches, there are other things like that, but generally speaking, when we talk about catering, Saturday, weekend nights and holidays are the big time, right? Especially if you're wanting to do it consistently. So if you work a full-time job Monday through Friday, you know you would either have to do a meal prep service for someone on Sundays, and you may not want to give your Sundays up, or you may just want to do a couple catering jobs on the weekend. So that's the other way to kind of look at it. And then you know you can take, if the money is not the biggest motivator, you know that you could do anything. If you just want to do a couple catering jobs a month on the weekends, you can do romantic dinner party for 2. You can do a sit-down dinner, probably up to 8 people by yourself. You could do a cocktail party hors d'oeuvres for 30 people. There's a lot of different things that you can do to fill your passion cup up if the money's not the biggest thing. And again, something else I caution you, if you do have a full-time job and you are wanting to do this on the side, whether it's for passion or because you need to bring in an extra $1,000 a month or whatever, if you are working a regular traditional Monday through Friday full-time job and you want to have one meal prep service client a week that you're going to be doing on Sundays, you need to really think about if you have the capacity and the desire to work 6 days a week. Now, maybe you do, maybe you're trying to burn off some debt, maybe, this is temporary, maybe you know that you're gonna have to bust your ass for a while to get your personal chef business going so that you can ease out of your full-time business. Maybe they'll let you go part-time. Maybe you need to make a certain amount of money before you can quit. These are some of the things that you need to take into consideration for you, your current situation, what you can do now in a personal chef business, and what you want it to be down the road that you have to have figured out before you ever are going to be able to put a plan together, decide what your personal chef business needs to look like, and do what your goals are, and then hit the targets of how much money you want to make, or be happy doing the services you want to do, if that's only a couple caterings a month, or if that's a whole bunch of personal chef service clients, aka meal prep clients. And what that does is it really sets you up to be successful in your personal chef business. And again, that's not just about the money, it's about being happy. The whole point of doing this business is that we love to cook, right? We love to cook, we love feeding other people, just the passion of it, the joy of it. The last thing you want to do is go into setting up a business, doing something you're super passionate about and love, and end up having it be crappy, end up not having enough work, not having enough money, having to go back to a full-time job you hate, or to end up doing services that you don't want to do when you're only wanting to do it part-time because you have limited time, and you end up doing stuff that you don't even want to do. So again, think through these things. Think about how much money you want to make, how much time you have to work, whether it's full-time, part-time, if you can only work certain days during the week, and think about, when, like I said. So how much, full-time, part-time, and when, whether it's I'm not working weekends, whether it's I have a full-time job, I have Mondays and Thursdays off, whatever it is. Once you get those things dialed in, it makes it a lot easier to choose the services you want to do, whether it's personal chef services, aka meal prep, whether it's catering. And it has to be, like I said, if you have Mondays and Thursdays off, you're not going to be booking dinner parties probably. So maybe you're going to need to market to business lunches or lady brunches or something like that. It will really help you dial in what services you can offer. And then you can decide, you know what? I don't want to do that. So I need to either change something in my current situation, or I need to set this aside for a time when I'm more able to do that. Making these decisions again ahead of time is how you really set up your personal chef business so that you love it, it loves you, you get clients who love you and your food, you're making the money you want to make, you're working the work you want to work, doing what you want to do, and not burning out working too much. So I hope this helped you take these all into consideration. If you're not watching this in the Facebook group, you can join our Facebook group. Just go to Facebook and search Cooks Collective. We'll pop right up. And again, if you want to have a one-on-one call with me where we can work through your personal chef business roadmap that's specific for exactly you and your situation, you can shoot me a message on this platform, or you can drop something in the comments and I can reach out to you. So I hope you have a fabulous day. I hope you take some time, think about these, really dial them in so that you can have a personal chef business that you love, that gets you exactly what you want to get in terms of the work you're doing, when you're working, how much you're working, and how much money you're making. Because I'm telling you, the clients are out there and they are hungry for what you're cooking.